Welcome back to War of Words, and now for questions from the audience. Our first question comes from the gentleman in the red striped shirt. Yes, sir, go ahead.
My question is that every Indian child in this country is told that by his parents that homosexuality is wrong. Are you proposing to us that our parents are wrong and you are right?
Anjali Gopalan, are parents wrong? Are you right?
I think very often parents may not have a clear understanding of the sexuality of the child. And this is something that where parents also have to understand because they don't have enough information. And that's part of our problem, that the information is not out there.
So in a sense, what you're doing is to educate parents to things that they haven't thought about.
Absolutely, because parents need to understand that if a child is gay, that child is naturally gay.
And that
Pavan Verma, you are an authority of the Indian middle classes. On an issue like homosexuality, are parents wrong? Are activists right?
No, I think parents could be misinformed, and there's nothing wrong if parents bring up their children initially presuming they are heterosexual. That is the majority. If, however, there is a case where a child is by choice inclined otherwise, parents should have the wherewithal to understand.
What about the point that Mr. Singhal makes that Manu Smriti has laid down the law? In India, we should follow it.
I must be very clear on that, Karan. I am proud of our history and culture, but I am not willing to be defined only by the Manu Smriti.
For instance,
just let me complete, sir.
Only one point.
Let him finish, then you answer.
Manu Smriti says that if a Dalit were to hear a Brahman chanting a shloka, hot oil should be poured into his ears. Am I, as a cerebral thinking person of a modern democratic republic, bound only by Manu Smriti?
You fire Manu as much as you want to. I don't care. But I want to make it clear that it is not a relic of the British Raj. That is what I want. That is a small point.
Our second question comes from the gentleman in front of me. Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, are Indians hypocritical? Is homosexuality more prevalent than we think?
Would you allow your sister to marry a homosexual?
You've asked that already and got the answer.
I asked you. I'm asking him now. Will you allow her to marry an homosexual? Non-homosexual? Huh?
No, sir, it's not.
Or would you protest?
Already ma'am said that it's about consent.
Oh, I'm asking a simple question here.
Come back. Don't turn the tables on him and embarrass him. He's asked a perfectly legitimate question. Chandan has already indicated that sodomy in villages is prevalent. Are Indians therefore hypocritical about homosexuality? No, answer it. Answer it if you're prepared to. Are Indians hypocritical?
What do you mean by hypocrisy? Can you go on
Two-faced. They say one thing and do another.
Is it not hypocritical to wear clothes? You should walk as you are. Why should you wear clothes and cover yourself?
There's no sense
this is
this
hypocrisy.
kind of
Chandan
argument,
Mitra,
Karan.
are Indians hypocritical?
Well, you see, homosexuality is not the only thing about which Indians are hypocritical or the rest of the world is hypocritical. There are certain laws and certain norms and customs about which society pretends not to accept or acknowledge.
But how long should that pretense continue?
No, precisely. That's what I have been saying from the beginning. That I think the time has come to relook. I agree with Pawan that you relook at various things, and broadly, if over a period of time you think society is ready for this, if the change comes about largely consensual, you cannot have complete consent.
Laws don't change on numerical majority.
Where this has come about.
Chandana Das, let me bring you in. Chandan has taken a position of sort of internal self-agonizing. He clearly is sympathetic to the need to change laws, but equally he wants to be sure that the time has come to do it.
And what about...
Do you share that agony, or do you think he's actually just prevaricating?
No, what about disease?
Go ahead, Nandita.
When is the time going to be ready? Is there someone from outside who's going to come and tell us that the time is ready? I think we were ready 30 years ago. Then now we are becoming more and more regressive. We are becoming a scared society which is scared of 5 people screaming and tearing down things. So I think we will be ready when we will push the envelope, when we will bring things out. Of course there will be a debate, which is a healthy thing for any society.
Chandan, that's a direct hit at your position.
Yes, it
is. The time has come to push the envelope.
I think Nandita has been far too influenced by her fire experience. I think it needs to be widened. And yes, on every issue, there is a societal debate. Just because a few people today are saying it must be done immediately, it doesn't have to be done immediately. I am willing to say that yes, now let us debate. Let us see what is the broad intellectual consensus on it. And if
Pavan Verma, I want to come back to what I've been calling the prevarication in Chandan Mitra's position. He accepts the need to consider something, but he doesn't accept that necessarily the time to do it now has come. Is that understandable? Or is that two-faced?
I think I'll take it from what Chandan has said. I think the time has come to seriously consider the need to review this law.
Time has
And we have to study. I say this with complete honesty. I think we need to look at the laws of other countries very carefully.
Okay.
For instance, South Africa decriminalized this, but it put in conditions such as minimum
80
age.
countries there is no, they are not
Australia.
legal.
But why should India be on the side of those 80 countries?
Why not?
Why not be on the side of the enlightened
Because
20s?
it is unnatural, because it spreads diseases, it spreads HIV AIDS, it spreads syphilis, gonorrhea. I mean, you name the diseases, the whole lot of them here.
Can I ask you a simple question? The audience will have seen you almost spitting with fury as you just spoke a moment ago. Do you feel threatened? Do you feel personally threatened by homosexuality?
Personal threat, my dear. I'm not here to guard my personal self, Karan. I don't have to. I'm only bothered about the country's future. That's what I'm trying to guard.
We need to look at the
A question from there. Yes, go ahead.
We don't worry about the prostitutions and adultery. Then why we are so concerned about the homosexuality?
Well, let me put that to you,
Not
Anjali.
worried about adultery.
If
There's a section
adultery,
497 which punishes adultery.
let me put that to Anjali.
Section
Anjali,
497
adultery
punishes adultery.
happens. There's not
Know
much
the
done
law
about it,
first.
even though it's against the law. Prostitution happens. There's not much criminalization of it, even though that's officially against the law. And similarly, homosexuality may be criminal, but there is no prosecution. There hasn't been any prosecution for almost 8 years.
Right.
So why make an issue of something? Let sleeping dogs lie.
No, because it is an issue of rights, because the cops constantly harass gay men, it stops our work from happening, it stops from community building. It's really
What is the
important.
work? You see,
Absolutely.
Now, what are the gay rights marches are going on? I mean, newspapers are giving wide publicity to all this. So, you know, what you're talking about is about 10-year-old situation.
No,
I
no,
think things
I'm
have
talking
changed
about
a
now,
great deal.
Chandan.
The gay rights marches are happening.
Listen,
so,
of
why
course
do you
gay
say
rights
that
marches
this,
are happening because there is such an
Let me
outcry
bring you
right
in.
now.
There's no doubt that even though homosexuality is criminalized under the law, there haven't been prosecutions for maybe as long as 8 years. Clearly, Indian society has established a via media. We give them the space even though it's considered criminal. Why then change it? Let the situation evolve as it does. Don't create a problem where there is none.
No, like Anjali said, it's not about, of course, if nobody has been prosecuted till now, which means it can carry on. But the point is, the minute you say it is a criminal act, in the eyes of people, you are saying that there is something wrong with it. And I think that is what we need to debate and discuss about our own morality, about our own hypocrisy.
Very quickly, we have time for just one question, Pavan Verma. Is the rights of the matter more important than the practicality?
No, I think the rights are important.
Of course.
Now, Karan, the stigma is by the society. It is not governed by what is legal or not legal.
Is the stigma by society or
Yes,
by
of course.
intolerant people? Forgive me for saying so, perhaps like you.
No, the stigma is still there, even if it is not there. And mind you, for 5.7 million HIV cases, NACO brought it down to 2.3 in 2008.
But they weren't
Without-
homosexuals. You
with
keep
the
making this point, but
377.
you're wrong on your facts.
No, with
Anjali,
the
very quickly,
377 staying
one
on the
last
on the
please.
statute.
What would you say to ordinary
Now, why
Indians
you are
in
not
30
able to-
seconds listening to this program?
You
What
are
would you
not
say
able
to them?
to
I would
digest
just
my
say
arguments.
that please understand it is a question of rights. People do not choose to be gay. It is really natural for them to be attracted to the same sex.
Okay.
So let's not deny them the right to be citizens of this country.
All right, this is a clear question between what people have a right to be and to express themselves on the one hand versus what society is prepared to accept and the right of society to draw the Lakshman Rekha where society thinks is the right place to draw it. That's the critical issue. That's the thought we're going to leave you with. My thanks to Nandita Das for joining us from our home. My thanks to Pavan Verma, Chandan Mitra, BP Singhal and Anjali Gopalan for joining us here in studio. And if you have been, thanks for watching. This is a subject to think about. Bye. Good night.